Okay, guys. Now let's see if anyone wants to share. Okay, guys. Now let's see if anyone wants to share. Sounds terrible. Okay. 1 minute. Yeah, I did. Okay, so I am back. We are here. I don't know if anybody's watching. I'm going to post this on Facebook. Copy. See what happens. See if anybody else wants to join. Paste. didn't work. How do I invite people? Okay, so that's where I am. And I guess watch page.
It's time. The National Week of Repentance is a simultaneous nationwide movement of God and His people.
We'll cut that out. Yay. Oh, come on. Looks better. Control Shift. Oh. That's weird.
With the August Smart Lock, give guests like dog walkers, delivery people, or friends and family
Weird. Okay, so I better start talking so that nobody, or that people don't think that nothing's happening. So yeah, still try, still trying to get this thing going. Let's see. It says I'm live and that the stream is good, which is good. So I am live, and hopefully this has started over in a new video because I had to refresh the window. I posted it, and we'll see if anybody comes or not. Hello, I am Sadaka, and we're doing this because this is a new way to bring this kind of stuff to you guys. I'm going to play some singing bowls. I'm also going to take you through some really simple guided meditations and stuff. And what I want to see is that. Okay, good. And hello, yes, there I am. So this is the way I'm going to be doing things mostly now. I'm probably going to be making videos like this as well. There will be a couple different things happening. You'll either be able to see me and I'll be talking to you like this, or I'll just move the camera and you'll be able to see the crystal bowls, or maybe a nice view outside. The visualization things are not required for this. You know, we tend to work with the body and physical sensation and tactile sensation and how to manipulate energy and tactile sensation within the body. Anyway, I am going to be doing some things on the Kadua and trying to get people into some other practices, some simple practices, but some essential practices that we all need to do more, because I think sometimes we seek out the crazy experiences, which is one reason that I think so many people are attracted to the light language work that I do, because it's something different and unique and powerful, and they can feel it and hear it, and it's interesting and effective that way. But when we're constantly looking for stuff like that, I think we forget the simple stuff. And a lot of times we just need to freaking relax. So that's something that I have to work on too, personally, something that I'm not very good at. And so I thought we could start by doing that kind of work with each other. My good cushion has been stolen. My yoga cushion. Just kidding. My boyfriend has it. Okay, so a very simple one that I used to like to do is like, people are always asking me like, what do I do to take my work farther? Like, what do I do? Like, what's the next thing? What's the next step? What do I start practicing? And quite honestly, it's always difficult for me to separate like my personal stuff from these videos, and I can usually end up talking too much, and I'll try not to do that. But for me, it's really it's really difficult to separate the personal stuff from the basic stuff. And what I've come down to now recently is that I'm basically starting from square one. I'm starting over. I'm starting with all of the basic exercises, and I'm not going to call myself anything a Taoist master, certainly not master, but a Taoist wizard or semi person, somebody who's coming into enlightenment. I don't know how to put it. Whatever, as I can't call myself anything until I've actually accomplished these basic practices. It's been absolutely undeniable to me that I am a Taoist in that respect. And I've ignored a lot of things in the past. I can't sit in the lotus position for one. I've made excuses my entire life that basically it's not really necessary, and I suppose it's not, but it's really great. uh, because there's a specific, there are muscular things that happen in order for energy to be able to flow into the body, and so that's the reason that they sit in that position so often, and why it's almost universal with cultures all around the world. Um, and it moves the bones a certain way so that energy can flow up that area. All this stuff, that I've been missing out on. It raises the tailbone higher than the knees, which is also extremely important, which I have been trying to do my entire time. The entire time I've been practicing, just got one of those great yoga cushions, can totally recommend them, that really, really support you and keep your tailbone in place. Very essential, so I'm going to start to use that. And the other ways I'm starting over is breath work. You really have to start with relaxation and breath work. I don't think we do this stuff nearly enough. We just want to sit there and be able to go into some like meditation technique and just like, you know, immediate, and that's great. Or I would use it as like a trance technique. I have the ability to enter certain types of trance states and alter my consciousness at will, and that's fantastic. But yeah. All right. I don't want to start rambling, so we'll just get right into the meat of this stuff. It really does come down to, instead of the crazy impressive practices all of the time, you got to do the work, guys, and that's just where I am right now. And I'm not setting I'm not setting myself up for failure. I'm not setting myself up for absolute achievement either, or for victory, or whatever you want to call it, because I'm just finally at that very middle of the road point, I think, where I'm just like, you got to do the work, and there are certain things that I just haven't been paying attention to. So, yeah. That being said, what do we do when we get into our practice space and we want to start working with something like Reiki or the Akadwa? First of all, usually, this is going to be basic to you guys, and I'm only guessing, but I can imagine that when you sit down, you either have an object or you just take your hands and you intend for this energy to start flowing, and then you feel around for it, right? That's usually what we do. Or you can sit there, you don't have to use your hands, you can just feel it emanating from your heart space. You can use your emotion to feel it. Okay, you can do any of that kind of stuff. But once again, I think what we really need to get into is the proper preparation for this kind of stuff. So, if you were here in front of me and it was mattering, I would have us swing our arms back and forth and shake things out and get everything just moving slightly, and spend some time doing that, and spend some time, you know, relaxing your muscles and doing some interesting little stretches and shoulder things, and maybe a little light yoga, whatever. Not everyone has time to do that, of course, but this is really what I'm talking about here. Is this is the stuff that we have to devote time to no matter what, because this is the foundation. This is where it all starts, all right? And we neglect that stuff. Or we reach a certain level of achievement in those things, and then we go on to the next stuff, the next practice or whatever, which is fun and exciting, and we forget about all that other stuff. Just because you've made a foundation, as good as it may be, in those beginning practices and whatnot, doesn't mean you can suddenly abandon them. These are practices for life, and you will benefit so greatly if you just take the time to relax a little bit. So that's what I'm going to do. Obviously, I've got my singing bowls on a large table behind me. You'll see them more and a lot. And so I'm just going to take you guys through some very simple relaxation exercises, and I'll probably be up and down or between spaces to do that, and so you don't have to watch, you can just listen. Part of what I do as a healer, I just want to, briefly mention, and by participating in these sessions, they're not just informational, they are energetic as far as a connection goes between all of us, whether you're here live or just watching it later. And as a healer, what I do try to do is put enough energy out there into the entire event, into the entire space, so that we are connected when you are watching these things, and that you are in the same space that I'm in, essentially. I have no problem doing that. You can deal with it conceptually or intellectually if you want to. I don't really think in those terms anymore. I just know that I have the ability to connect us in that energy field or whatever I'm moving through, using a kadua or using whatever. And that's one thing that I attempt to do. And so it's not just suggestions, and it's not just me talking, and it's not just us going through different exercises or meditations or whatever it may be, and playing crystal bowls and yay, pretty music. What I do try to do is bring a certain type of healing field into your experience as well as it is in mine, and special things can happen within that. That's all. Okay, so just go ahead and start relaxing wherever you are, whatever you're doing. I guess, you know, there are some places that are not conducive to relaxing, but you're probably at home at your computer. So what do we do to start relaxing? Usually we have to get into a good position, and always, if what you're doing sitting, you want to make sure that your spine is straight and that you're sitting erect, that your shoulders and neck, I should probably, whoops, that your shoulders and neck are also straight and level in a correct way. You just want to like move around and find range of motion, and always make that spine go straight up, straight out the top of your head, you know? Okay, so I think it's still coming through. I hope you didn't miss any of that. It wasn't really important. But there we go. Okay, hope you didn't miss any of that. As I was saying before, when we relax, first we have to make sure that everything is aligned, right? And so you want to find all of your range of motion as you're just making your spine go up. Whether you're sitting in the lotus position or sitting in a chair or not. If you're sitting in a chair, you shouldn't have any back support. I know it sucks, but you gotta try to build those muscles, and do it the best you can. But then I find when sitting in a chair, then the position of your legs and your hips becomes extremely important. And then you're like all the way out here trying to support yourself, and then you're moving your feet up here, and then you're back here, and it's a little difficult to get into a good proper position on a chair, and so what you do want to do, as I mentioned before, is make sure that you have a strong enough and a high enough cushion or chair in itself to support you and to raise your tailbone up as your hips sort of unlock downwards, and your knees are sunk, or your legs will be pointing a little bit, because your butt is up and supported. So those have been really good, and I haven't started using one until recently. I went through all kinds of iterations of stacking my cushions on my chair to try to get higher and higher and higher. And then if you have soft stuff, it just sinks down and it doesn't really give you any support whatsoever. Even if you do get high enough, you're still technically sinking down in this cloud of whatever and of cushions, this cushion, and it doesn't really work. So you want it to be kind of firm. It's a little difficult to get used to, but those yoga cushions I'm finding are really good. So I'll try not to turn off my computer this time. The button is on the side. So I want you to think of your awareness as your spark of creativity, your spark of intention, your spark of everything, anything that you want it to be, because you have the power within your own mind to do whatever you want to your body energetically. Okay, you can create whatever pathways you can that you want to. You can evoke certain feelings. You can make certain mental states happen. And so I want you to be very, very aware of your own awareness. All right, that's just a point of consciousness, a point of light, if you will. And wherever that point of light goes, it will do whatever you want it to do. So I want you to feel the top of your head, with your eyes closed, relaxing as much as possible. Just try to feel your scalp. Just become aware of it. And use that point of awareness. If it's a visualization in your mind, that's fine. And it's always good to take several nice long breaths. And just sigh them out completely. And become aware of your scalp, and you might not want the focus to broaden out too much. Become aware of it and know with absolute assurance that as you become aware of each part of your body, that part of your body relaxes completely. This is pretty much the only important part of the exercise that you must convince yourself. I just call it mental gymnastics. That when your awareness moves to a certain point on your body, that point on your body immediately begins to relax. It's connecting your mind and your power of intention, or yi, if you want to call it that, in the Taoist terms, I guess, to have a physical effect on the body. We need to intentionally relax because none of us really take the time to do so. So again, top of your skull, as you're aware, everything in your awareness becomes completely relaxed. All right, intentionally relax the top of your skull. Think about your skin, think about your hair follicles, and try to get as specific as possible. All of that stuff can and must be intentionally relaxed by you. Just stay up there for a while, and then start to allow your awareness to melt downwards towards your temples, and go as deeply into your temples as you can. You can even do them one at a time. So start with your right temple, and know that as your awareness penetrates those muscles and that area, it completely relaxes. Now move your awareness to your left temple and do the same thing. As your awareness comes into each of these actual physical places on your body, you should immediately feel it relax, because you know that wherever your awareness goes, relaxation follows. And I want you to point to different places on your skull, on your forehead, where you might feel the furrows of your brow if you got them, your eyelids, even your eyelashes. Spend some time around your ears and thinking about the little tiny muscles inside of your ears, and allow them to relax completely. Allow your jaw to completely relax. If you need to let your mouth hang open a little bit, that's just fine. As you do any of this, you should try to gently keep the tip of your tongue right under the roof of your mouth. There's a point in there. Very relaxed, not a lot of straining, and not all the way back to the soft palate like some yogis like to do. But just to the tip of the mouth, in front of the teeth, right here. And that's a very good place to put it. It allows a circulation to be completed, a circuit to be completed, and energy to properly flow in a pattern. All right? And try to keep your tongue gently there. As your jaw hangs open, you're trying to relax your cheeks, become aware of everything, become aware of your nose, the outside of it, and particularly aware of the relaxation of your own nostrils. You might want to spend a little while just breathing in and out of your nose, noticing the little tiny muscles in your nose as you breathe in and as you breathe out, and attempting to remain as completely relaxed in that area as possible. Breathe in and notice how you contract the muscles in your nose, and try not to. Become aware of those muscles, and as you do, you are completely convinced your awareness causes complete and total relaxation. And you can move down to your neck and under your chin, the rest of your jaw and your mouth. Try to relax your lips. You can spend hours on the tiniest parts of your body, and you will discover muscles and ligaments and little aspects of yourself that you never knew existed, much less needed to be relaxed by you. Each one of these things can hold imprints and impressions. They can hold emotions. A special one that we'll do eventually is to go into the deeper deeper layers of the lungs and the chest muscles and all of that. And you'll notice how it affects your breathing in such amazing ways. And you'll notice things clearing out of your lungs that you did not know were there. It's just a really strange experience to go deeper and deeper and deeper. Okay, so that was just an example of some of the things I'm going to be doing here, and I will take you deeper. And if I'm more prepared, I'll probably stop talking in the middle. But you can see that we need to do this type of work. Even me, I'm opening up certain things, just allowing myself to think about this stuff and realize it, and to know what I need to go deeper into and to relax more into myself. So we'll do a very simple exercise, okay? This is one suggested by my partner. When listening to the crystal bowls, he likes to imagine that the sounds of the bowls themselves are actually coming from within his own body. All right. I think that's a very important and a very easy exercise, at least, if you want to concentrate on something to facilitate your own healing. It's a very good exercise because it splits your awareness. And again, it's using what I call those, mental gymnastics, just moving your thinking around just slightly enough to know that you can, belief is making something happen. Belief is reality. All right, I believe that these sounds are coming from inside of me. All of a sudden, those things link up, and you can have an experience. You can have something moving out of your body because all of your energy, all of your focus was split in a different way. It wasn't out here. It wasn't thinking, I am body, this is me, sound is them, they are there, we are separate. It was coming from within, and suddenly you have that connection, and something will break free. All right. The other thing that I want to suggest, and you can switch between the two, or if you can combine them, that would be fabulous, is to just simply pay attention to those nostrils and the breath moving in and moving out. Out breaths you shouldn't even really worry about. I just try to to notice the sensation of heat. That's almost how slow it should be. But you don't want to force yourself for these exercises. This isn't like a meditation class, I'm just giving you some pointers. I usually want to breathe as smooth and silky as possible, slow and smooth and extremely relaxed. It's amazing how much oxygen you can feed your body with so much just little breath, how much energy you can get into your system with very, very little breath if everything is open. And you wonder how these yogis and Taoist immortals, would stop breathing. Oh, I'm doing the air quotes, wrong hand. Stop breathing as they would engage in these practices. They can take in that much energy, the necessary amount of energy into their bodies by energy work and breathing extremely slowly or not at all, and it's quite possible. So that's what I'm going to do. I guess I'll just do another one of these little things, and then we can all go home. So once again, I just try to bring you into a certain space, and when we're in that space, and I'm going to shut up and just play the crystal bowls this time, you can, yes, you can do either of those two exercises or both if you want to. If you want to imagine that all of the sound is the breath that is within your nose, that's an okay thing too. All of this is the same thing. It's all light, it's all sound, it's all the same. It's all chi, it's all breath, it's all prana, energy, whatever. So you can breathe in the sound. That's another exercise to use those mental gymnastics on as well. All right, stop talking. Here we go. So, again, your awareness is complete relaxation. Focus on the breath coming in and out of the nose. Soft and smooth and silky as possible. All the way down to the lower abdomen. Okay, so I hope you were able to focus on one of those two simple exercises just while listening to the bowls. That's what you're supposed to be doing. It's natural to want to go back to what we were doing before, which was um, no, I was going to say that there was one thing that I forgot to do, which was actually a process called removing the mask, which you've probably heard me talk about before. But it's a very simple exercise, and I'll just go through it. It's where basically what I was doing with the point of awareness being complete relaxation in your mind is the same thing with the tips of your fingers. So that basically you decide that the very tips of your fingers are going to be relaxing, and when you're doing it to yourself, it's easy. Other, people might tickle you, but you're just the very tips of your fingers, like spider webs almost, and to start at the very tip of your skull. I know that it's going to relax you completely, and move down and down and down, just lightly brushing everything, and let everything relax as you do that. That's using, a tactile sensation and actually touching, which is relaxing, so that's good too. And if you want to get like more vigorous to relax things, that's fine. The massage is great. But mostly we're trying to go within and pay attention to the things that we don't usually relax, right? So that's another exercise that you can do, and you can do it several times. And the thing is, if you relax the face, you relax the entire body. So you will notice this if you start to do work just relaxing your face. That's why I started with the head and all of this stuff. We can get much more specific and spend an entire, 2 minutes on just the left eye, and really feeling just tiny, little millimeter by millimeter all the way around, and every little muscle, and thinking about the hairs and where they, you can do all of that stuff, and it's really actually very rewarding. I know it sounds boring, but again, this is the basic stuff, the foundation stuff that we need to do. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to try to do these a lot, so please spread the word if you like this kind of stuff, and subscribe to my channel if you are not. Please encourage people to do the same thing. Please like the videos, and please comment freely if there were any problems or whatever. Did notice that the feed stopped a couple times, so I don't know if that translated over to this video, but I'm sure you will all let me know. My Instagram is also there if you want short videos, which are just cool, of these beautiful singing bowls and whatnot, and some interesting stuff that's going on in my life. It's Sadaka_Nehanek. That's Nehanek. And I'll put it up there somewhere, Eventually I'll have a signature that I'll just copy and paste for everyone. Okay, thank you guys.